A bowl of hummus and grilled chicken became a $14 billion obsession, only to crash back down to earth when the bill finally came due. In late 2024, Cava was the darling of Wall Street, rather than just a restaurant chain. It was labeled the next Chipotle and valued higher than Domino's pizza. Investors saw a limitless future where Americans would happily pay premium prices for Mediterranean fast casual forever. However, that dream collided with a brutal economic reality by early 2026. The stock shed half its value, growth stalled, and the $18 lunch bowl became a symbol of everything wrong with the modern fast casual industry. Cava was just three friends in Rockville, Maryland, trying to save their heritage, long before the IPOs and the stock crashes. Ike Grigoropoulos, Ted Xenoristos, and Dimitri Moshevitis started with their parents' recipes, rather than a boardroom strategy. In 2006, they opened Cava Mezza, a full-service, sit-down restaurant that became a local hit. They noticed something interesting, though. Customers came for the dinner experience, but also obsessively bought the dips to take home. That specific insight shifted their entire strategy. By 2011, they realized the sit-down model was too slow. They took the best parts of their menu, put them in an assembly line format, and launched Cava Grill. It was simple, fast, and felt fresh in a market drowning in burgers and fries. Cava had perfect timing. In the early 2010s, Americans were falling out of love with traditional fast food. McDonald's was out, while kale and quinoa were in. Chipotle had proven that customers would wait in line and pay extra for food assembled right in front of them. Cava applied that exact psychological blueprint to Mediterranean cuisine. They painted the wheel with crazy feta and spicy lamb meatballs rather than reinventing it. The assembly line created an illusion of control and health that customers craved. You were curating a lifestyle bowl instead of just buying lunch. Investors watched as lines wrapped around blocks in DC and Los Angeles, convinced they had found the one brand that could actually replicate Chipotle's success. Growth was steady, but it was too slow for Wall Street. To become a giant, Cava needed real estate, and they found it in an unexpected place. In 2018, they made a move that confused almost everyone by acquiring Zoe's Kitchen for $300 million. Zoe's was a struggling, publicly traded chain with over 200 locations that were losing money. On paper, Cava appeared to be buying a sinking ship. However, CEO Brett Schulman saw something else. He wanted their kitchens rather than the Zoe's brand. In a massive logistical undertaking, they began converting sleepy Zoe's locations into high-energy Cava stores. It was a real estate heist. Overnight, Cava tripled its footprint without having to scout 300 new leases. This move transformed the company from a regional player into a national threat. If you are enjoying this breakdown, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We cover business stories like this every single week. We can now examine how this gamble paid off. By the summer of 2023, the stage was set. The stock market was recovering, and investors were starving for a new growth story. Cava went public in June under the ticker symbol CAVA, priced at $22 a share. The stock had nearly doubled by the time the closing bell rang on day one. The company was valued at nearly $5 billion, a staggering number for a chain that hadn't yet turned an annual profit. The narrative was intoxicating. Analysts projected that Cava could open 1,000 locations by 2032. Every new store opening was treated like a major event. For a brief moment, it seemed like the laws of restaurant economics didn't apply here. They were selling infinite growth rather than just food. By late 2024, the hype had turned into mania. Cava stock hit an all-time high of nearly $150 per share. The company's market cap swelled to over $14 billion. To put that in perspective, that is roughly the GDP of a small country, all for a company selling bowls of lentils and harissa. Wall Street justified this by pointing to same-store sales growth, which was hitting double digits every quarter. The brand had achieved cult status. TikTok was full of influencers showing off their custom orders, and the Cava bowl became a status symbol for the office lunch crowd. Few people seemed to care that the price of that lunch was creeping higher every single month. The party was in full swing, and nobody saw the cliff coming. However, a dangerous trend was bubbling up at the register, beneath the soaring stock price. Inflation had pushed ingredient costs up, and Cava passed those costs directly to the consumer. A bowl that cost $11 in 2021 was suddenly pushing $16, $17, or even $18 in major cities once you added a drink and tax. Customers paid it for a while. But $18 for a quick lunch is a psychological barrier. It shifts a meal from a daily habit to a luxury treat. You might pay that once a week, but you won't pay it every day. The company had built its revenue models on the assumption of high frequency, but they had priced themselves out of the daily routine for their core demographic of Gen Z and young millennials. The cracking point arrived in early 2025. Economic data started to show a massive pullback in consumer discretionary spending. People reduced their dining out habits instead of stopping eating entirely. The trade-down effect kicked in. Instead of Cava, people went to cheaper alternatives or started meal prepping. Social media, once Cava's biggest cheerleader, turned on them. Viral videos shifted from "look at my delicious bowl" to "look at this receipt." Customers began complaining about portion sizes shrinking as shrinkflation accusations flooded Reddit threads. The value proposition had broken. You can charge premium prices for a premium experience, or you can serve fast food, but you cannot charge fine dining prices for a meal you have to carry to your table on a plastic tray. The numbers finally caught up with the narrative in the third quarter of 2025. For the first time in years, the unstoppable growth machine sputtered. Cava reported same-store sales growth of less than 2%, a catastrophic drop from the 18% growth they had posted just a year prior. Even worse, foot traffic was flat. The only reason revenue was up at all was because of the higher prices, not because more people were coming in. On the earnings call, executives used phrases like macroeconomic headwinds and choppy environment, but investors heard only that the growth was over. The stock reacted instantly and violently, plummeting over 20% in a single week. The illusion of infinite demand had been shattered. The sell-off continued after one bad week. Throughout late 2025 and into January 2026, Cava shares continued to slide. From that dizzying peak of $150, the stock crumbled to the $60 range. Over $7 billion in market value evaporated. That is $7 billion of wealth from pension funds, retail investors, and employee stock options gone. It was a classic market correction. The company was being repriced as a normal restaurant chain, rather than going bankrupt. Wall Street realized that a restaurant selling hummus shouldn't be trading at 100 times its earnings. The Chipotle premium was revoked, and Cava was left to face the cold reality of operating a low-margin business in a high-cost world. Cava's aggressive expansion, which once looked like genius, now looked like a liability. They had opened dozens of new locations in 2025, many in suburban markets that didn't have the same high-income density as their original coastal strongholds. These new stores weren't performing as well as the older ones, dragging down the average unit volume. At the same time, labor costs were skyrocketing. Several states had raised minimum wages for fast food workers to over $20 an hour. Cava's labor-intensive model, which requires fresh prep and assembly lines, made them uniquely vulnerable. They were squeezed between rising worker costs and customers who refused to pay any more for their food. The business model that worked at 50 locations was struggling to work at 400. Cava struggled with its identity crisis as the competition adapted. Sweetgreen began automating its kitchens to cut costs. Chipotle focused heavily on speed and digital rewards to win back customers. Even traditional grocery stores began offering high-quality Mediterranean bars at half the price of a Cava bowl. The moat that Cava thought it had regarding the unique flavor profile turned out to be easily copyable. Local Mediterranean spots, which didn't have to answer to Wall Street shareholders, could offer larger portions for lower prices. The novelty of the Cava brand had worn off. In the brutal industry of fast casual dining, you are only as good as your last meal, and customers have zero loyalty when the price isn't right. As of February 2026, the company is far from dead, but the dream of global domination is on life support. They have slowed down their new store openings significantly. Management is now talking about efficiency and margin protection rather than explosive growth. They are testing new, cheaper menu items to lure back the budget-conscious lunch crowd. The stock has stabilized somewhat, but at a fraction of its former glory. The investors who bought in at the top are left holding the bag, waiting for a recovery that might take years, if it happens at all. Cava has become a cautionary tale about what happens when you confuse a great product with a scalable technology platform. The rise and fall of Cava reflects the dangerous cycle of modern business hype, not just saffron rice and crazy feta. We keep looking for the next version of a past success. Cava was supposed to be the next Chipotle, just like every tech startup is the next Google. But in that rush to crown a winner, we often ignore the basic math. A restaurant is a difficult, low-margin, operationally heavy business. When you value it like a software company, you are setting a timer for a disaster. Cava made great food, but the stock market demanded they be magic. And when the magic ran out, all that was left was an expensive bowl of cold leftovers. Cava will likely survive as a popular chain, but the days of the $10 billion valuation are likely gone for good. It serves as a stark reminder that in the food business, value ultimately matters more than hype. As consumers, we vote with our wallets, and in 2026, the vote was clear. $18 is just too much for lunch. If you want to see more deep dives into the economics of the brands you use every day, make sure to subscribe and check out our video on why coffee shops are dying next. Thanks for watching.